Hey y'all, iRick Guy here, and if you're watching this video, you probably searched for why photographers hate autofocus and why do videographers hate autofocus. Now, this is a very interesting one, and I didn't really understand in the beginning why that was the case. So let's just cut right into it. So autofocus is, the performance of it is going to be determined by the performance of the camera, and often higher end cameras most of the time have better autofocus systems. But autofocus is never going to replace manual focus, because with manual focus, the camera operator has full manual control. So, they can compensate for the lighting, they can compensate for, do they really want the entire scene to be visible, or do they want to create what's called bokeh, or defocused background, so the subject is really isolated from the background. What's the video look or the photographic look that they're going for in that work. So that's the reason that your true videographer or your true photographer is going to probably dislike autofocus. Even if autofocus systems would work well, they're going to dislike it. Now what's funny, and this is where things have really started to change, and it's irritated a lot of videographers and photographers. This video right now, and I'm ashamed to admit it, this video I'm filming in autofocus. But what's happened is that camera systems have become so advanced that even people like myself, iRick Guy, and iRick Guy's adventure channel, youtube.com/iRick Guy, where you're watching this video. Even people like myself can capture results like this with a minimal amount of effort. Now in the past, I've used manual focus very heavily, because in the past, I didn't have a camera system that could autofocus without making things look wonky. I mean, if you've ever dealt with autofocus for video and things didn't work out right, you probably found that, it just ruined the total video, because it was, the viewer was, instead of watching something that was visually pleasing, they're watching something where the autofocus is constantly hunting, it's trying to find focus, and it ruins it. But photographers and videographers now really hate, a lot of them do, really hate autofocus, especially autofocus from cameras like this one, because I'm able to achieve these results. Most anybody with, reasonable determination, it takes the time to sit down, learn the camera, and take it out in the field like I'm doing, and figuring out, how to do this, how to do that. They can capture videos that have quality that is very convincing. At times, like this video, that's almost as good, if not as good, as a manual focus video from a professional videographer. And that's what irritates them, because a lot of people, a lot of videographers and a lot of photographers think that, it's just a shortcut. It's like I had to, because technology's changed, obviously. And, the evolution of camera equipment, there were people in the past to be able to get really professional, to capture a really professional looking video or to capture a really professional looking photo, they had to really learn all of those camera settings. And I know the camera settings. I'm not claiming to be an expert, because I'm not. I know enough to get my way around in manual mode and capture the types of photos and videos that I wanted to capture in manual mode if I want to use manual mode. But the reality is that now with autofocus, with cameras such as this, that it's easy for almost anyone. Let's say I didn't know the manual focus, which I do know that, but let's say I didn't know it at all, I could probably still pick up this camera and capture results almost as good as this. So what it's created is a lot of anger, because these videographers and photographers are like, well, I spent X number of years learning all of these manual settings, and now Jim Bob or Jane Bob across the street, they open up this video production studio, photography studio, and they've taken all my business. So they're irritated because they had the skill set and they had to put in all the hours to learn and and refine to be able to capture just outstanding content. But now they've got people potentially that have a few months of experience and just got a good camera system and lens, and are taking their business because they can do the same thing, but they don't have to have all the knowledge in their head. So I can understand why a videographer or photographer would be upset with that being the case, but it's just, it is what it is. Technology has evolved rapidly, and technology has enabled people that are business minded to pick it up and say, well, you know, if I say, for example, let's look at a good analogy here. So trying to think of a really good yeah, okay, so let's look at this. So let's say I'm selling some sort of equipment, and when I sell it, there's 100 pieces, right? No, there's 300 pieces. There's little small pieces, and they've got to go in a certain way in this box before I deliver it to the customer. I could go through, I could hand pick each piece, all 300 pieces, put them in the box. That's not going to be efficient, because I would potentially spend several hours. What if I had a machine that could do that in, say, 10 seconds? You know, I'm going to be able to produce a lot more quickly, and I'm going to be able to make a lot more money. So the time that people spend, and I realize they can call it an art or whatever it is. I mean, it's a skill set, it's an art, it's a technical ability, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, they spend all that time doing something that a camera system such as this can do for them now. So imagine this, you know, let's say that I went out for the shoot and I'm having to fumble with these settings and fumble with this equipment, blah, blah, blah. So I've potentially wasted a few hours. What if I could have done everything in a half hour? You know, that opens up my day, because I can go out and I can capture, you know, that content, then I can move on to another customer. I can move on to another video project. I can just pump out content, but not just pump out content, because there's a fine line there. If you're just pumping it out and you're not getting quality, it's damaging. But if you can capture quality as good, if not better, than what a professional videographer or professional photographer can do, why not do it? I mean, at the end of the day, it's about the money. I mean, it's about having fun too, but you know, at the end of the day, it is about making money. It's a business. So that is why, in my opinion, photographers and videographers hate manual focus. I mean, hate autofocus. They hate autofocus because they feel that it's taken away their, you know, they were on a little pedestal and they controlled everything, and you know, they were the experts, and you know, they were the only ones in their minds that could capture professional video and or professional photos. But now, because of the ease of use of cameras and the just rapidly evolving autofocus technologies, there's a lot of situations such as this video where I didn't even deal with manual focus. I mean, this is all autofocus, and I think the camera has handled it really well. So it's I mean, I don't know, man. It's like any other business, you know, things change. I don't know if y'all remember it, but you know, building computers, used to be a lot of money in that. A lot of money in building computers. But then you got your big box retailers, they started selling computers. They bought the computers in bulk. They were able to undercut the small guys that were building computers. So point in time came, you know, I knew I built better computers than your big box chain A, B, or C. But the time came where I had to say, look, you know, it's about the money. You know, I love building computers. I love making money. But, you know, it doesn't make sense now, because I've got these huge companies with stores throughout the country, throughout the world. I can't compete with their prices. So at that point, all that I would be doing, I'd be doing the same job, building computers, selling computers, but I'm not able to make the money that I was able to. So you should say, well, that ship has sailed, and move on. But with photographers and videographers, professional photographers and videographers, it's often something they're not comfortable with doing. And I mean, I can understand that. You know, sometimes it hurts to say, you know, this ship has sailed. But sometimes when that ship does sail, if you don't pivot and find the next big thing, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. And, you know, and if gloom and doom is what you want, as far as a career is concerned, go for it, sulk and fail. But you know, if you wanna make money, you got to stay on the cutting edge. You got to pivot, and you got to move on to what's next. So I hope this video is of value. Maybe it was entertaining. Maybe it was educational. Maybe it's something you never thought about. But tell me what you think, and be sure to subscribe and ring that bell icon when you do. And again, you're looking for the camera, the the lens, the microphone like I was using to film this, expand this video's description, and then click the link there. You can find it all there. And by no means was I striking out at professional videographers or professional photographers within this video. I was just using them to illustrate why they dislike manual focus. And I mean, I dislike big box computer retailers because I used to build computers. So, you know, the feeling is, it is what it is. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, Captain Irix Guy here. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/Irix Guy. And ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.